going on, guys? So today we're back with another Pokemon Masters video, and today we're actually going to be giving Cynthia and Garchomp their time in the Limelight. We're actually going to take a look at this sync pair and kind of figure out what is in its entire kit that kind of makes it unique. So one of the most anticipated sync pairs is finally here. Almost every post on Twitter has some sort of mention of Cynthia or red or green. Cynthia's packing Garchomp, of course, which also can Mega Evolve. So let's take a look at our stats and see what we're working with here. In terms of HP, we do have a 547. Attack is a 331 before our Mega Evolution. It does bump up to 397 afterwards. Defense is a 144 before our evolution and a 172 after we Mega Evolve. Special attack is 128 on both. Special defense 141 on both, and speed at 325 for both. So all around, that's actually pretty good. I mean, attack at 397 after you Mega Evolve is insane. That's actually really, really high. The biggest problem that I have with these stats is that we kind of have to Mega Evolve to get there. And I see, like, there's this weird divide where some people really love Mega Evolutions because they basically power up a sync pair, and then, like, later on in the match, you basically have like an even further push for more damage. But then there's also this crowd that's like, well, you know, Mega Evolution is kind of slow because you can't get the full potential out of your Pokemon like as soon as the match starts, so why would I? And I kind of understand both. So the attack and defense here, getting the buffs, it's a sizable buff. I mean, if you look at the attack, 331 to 397, that's pretty large, and defense is 144 to 172, so I think it could actually work out really good if you're into Mega Evolutions. Next, moving on to our moves here, we do have some interesting move choices. Stomping Tantrum, which is interesting to say the least. Kind of low power, but only a 2-bar move. It does have 100 accuracy, which is a-okay. X attack is great considering we're a physical attacker. That'll definitely help out the damage output. Earthquake is always nice to see, 100 power with 100 accuracy, which hits all opponents, which is amazing. This is definitely where the damage starts to roll. This match is too fun is our signature trainer move, I guess, and it's okay. Speed is nice, and we do get a bump in crit rate, which is also really good. It's pretty much just all around okay, and the big bonus here is that if you're in a sandstorm, you actually get sharply raised instead of just regular raised. So I guess Acerola is a little bit more relevant. After Mega Evolving though, we do drop Stomping Tantrum in favor of Slash, which does have 6 more power, clocking in at a clean 50 while maintaining the 100 accuracy. But it's kind of weird. Being that it's a normal type move, it is kind of odd that we have Slash, but when we get to our passives, it'll make a little bit more sense here. Our actual sync move is going to be Earthquake of Ancient Lore, which is a pretty standard sync move. It's going to do 192 on the damage, and then it makes us Mega Evolve into Mega Garchomp, which is exactly what this kit is used for. Now we do have a few passives like I was talking about. We do have Hit and Run 2, which will raise the speed every once in a while whenever we use a move. Surging Sands 5, which does power up moves in a sandstorm. And then we also, once we Mega Evolve, we do have Ground Shift. So very similar to how Chris has Water Shift and Dragonite has Dragon Shift, we have Ground Shift, which is going to make normal type moves into ground types, which means Slash does make a lot more sense here. So that's kind of why that kit works the way that it does. Now in terms of damage output, I have to preface this with saying, incoming unpopular opinion. Garchomp is going to be basically on par with HAL in terms of damage output before Mega Evolution, and then afterwards I think he's going to be slightly better. And considering how highly regarded HAL is, I wouldn't say that's a diss on either HAL or Cynthia. It just seems like we're in a similar situation with an AoE move and then a way to buff ourselves, and then we get some speed, and it just really screams like the same type of kit that HAL has. Now, for what it's worth, being that HAL is a special striker and Cynthia is going to be a physical striker, I mean, they're going to serve, you know, a slightly different purpose in that aspect, and I do think that Garchomp will have better stats just in general to help push a little bit more damage than Hal, but just in terms of kits, their kits are extremely similar, and I feel like that's basically what our main purpose is going to be in terms of damage output. Crazy AoE damage with Cynthia, just like we have crazy AoE damage with Hal. Next up in utility, depending on how you view Mega Evolutions, kind of like we talked earlier, Garchomp could provide some decent damage and some utility in the right teams. In solo, keeping a speedy team and buffing Garchomp is going to be key. Let Earthquake just kind of do its thing and just keep pushing damage. Once you Mega Evolve, you can get a little bit more oomph out of him. Outside of that, I mean, in solo, he's pretty much just going to hide behind a support and just constantly push damage. It's exactly what he needs to be doing. In co-op though, we may have to rely more on our self-buffing to keep our sustenance up, considering how long it will take to get to our sync move in co-op anyways. The reduced damage from Earthquake of Ancient Lore could end up being underwhelming compared to other sync moves because it is a Mega Evolution sync move. Depending on the situation though, it may be more beneficial to go with another sync move, which means that we're never going to get to Mega Garchomp anyways. Although, if we go with a plan to set up Sandstorm, like with Acerola, we could actually have a nice little team going for which could be actually really pretty interesting. Now, in terms of our future proofing, honestly, I'm just kind of underwhelmed with Cynthia. I feel like she's been hyped up for quite a while, and she had these really high expectations to live up to, and she just kind of feels like she's going to be a pretty average physical attacker, which is fine. I mean, she doesn't get completely shafted, but she also doesn't have anything that's completely game-changing here. This does put her in an awkward spot because she'll be relevant for her typing for a little bit, but outside of needing super effective damage, she'll slowly fade behind the sync pairs that get released in the near future. For what it's worth, she will stick around for a while because she's honestly the only decent ground type attacker we're gonna have. But outside of that, I mean, super effective damage isn't necessarily everything, as we've learned in this game, and it just, I don't know, she's good, but she's not like expectation good, if that makes any sense. Now for some team ideas. First and foremost, let's get this one out of the way. Basically, any physical attack buffer will be great here. Maylene, Rosa with Delibird, or Protagonist with Torchic, however you want to look at it. Then, Cynthia has a way to keep her speed up. If you want overkill on that, you could also go with something that regenerates bar altogether. Just kind of throwing that out there. Another interesting idea, though, would be kind of a team focused around causing a sandstorm and riding out the chip damage as long as possible. Unfortunately, that does mean that we do have to run Acerola, which, depending on how much you like her, could be a great thing or a bad thing. And she's kind of underwhelming for me personally, so I'm not on the side of yay Acerola. I do think that this team idea could be fleshed out a lot more if we got a more reliable Pokemon that could start Sandstorm. I'm not trying to like hurt anybody's feelings, just saying. So all in all, final verdict for me is I think Cynthia and Garchomp are a solid unit. There isn't anything inherently wrong with them. They're just kind of gonna fit into an average to above average spot. And if we're placing this sync pair somewhere on a tier list, I think I would feel comfortable putting them right in between the A and B tier. Because I think that their damage is going to be there, but it's not quite as good as like Dragonites or Chris, but it's more consistent than Elisa and Hilda. So it just kind of feels like maybe they deserve an A, especially because they do have AoE type damage, but they kind of like are underwhelming just a slight bit, which makes me want to put them in B. So I'm going to say it's a mid B to A tier for me. But I would love to know, where do you guys think Cynthia stands? Waifu stuff aside, just looking at the numbers, where do you think in terms of utility, damage output, future proof, like how would you fit Cynthia and Garchomp into a tier list? But that is actually going to be it for Cynthia and Garchomp's time in the Limelight, guys. I'd love to know what you guys think of them down in the comments below if you would like to, you know. The only other thing we have left to do today is do a quick sync pair scout. Unfortunately, as of recording this, Cynthia hasn't finally dropped yet. I do plan on doing a summoning video just like we did for Lance with Cynthia. Cynthia. I do plan on doing a summoning video for Cynthia, just like we did with Lance. Once Cynthia finally drops, we will do that very soon. But as of right now, I think I just kind of want to go with a Grimsley banner summon. I still need Grimsley, and it would be great if I could get him, because he's going away on the 8th, according to this banner, and I kind of need him. So on the count of 3, we're going to do this. If you want to go along, we're going to do 3, 2, 1, down. I said on the count of 3 and then counted down from 3. What kind of masochist am I? Okay, so no flashy animation, no cool antenna. Come on, man. What are you doing to me here? Not even some decent doors. So unfortunately, Ramos is going to grace us with his presence today, but hey, that's okay. We'll take the 3-star power-up. We're actually not even without Cynthia coming out yet. We're actually coming up close to having enough of these things again. Holy cow. I swear I'm never gonna be finished with this. What do I do with all these 3-star power-ups once I've promoted all my 3 stars? Hopefully they get on the 3-star and 4-star bandwagon soon. Come on, DNA. Anyways, that is actually going to be it for today, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks so much for watching. Always remember that if you want to join the Discord, it is linked down in the description below. Also, down there are links to Patreon and to YouTube memberships if that's your thing. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and head out, and I will catch you guys in the next video. And see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember that if you like to like videos, you could do that, but if you don't, you could be that guy. Otherwise, let me know what you have to say down in the comments below about the video. I do highly appreciate you guys watching. If you guys want to support me in any way, there are several links down in the description for Patreon, joining the community here on YouTube, or even just directly PayPal if that's your thing. I greatly appreciate everyone's name that's on screen, as you guys have showed some sort of support outside of just viewing the videos, and I thank you guys. You don't understand from the bottom of my heart. So until our next video, guys, I will catch you then.